Hey, Aloha Love Tribe. So I'm doing a little, um, I'm going to start just doing some random impromptu stuff. And it's really important that you guys start paying attention to what I'm doing because it is going to help save the lives of young girls and young people who have been trafficked. A lot of us want to keep moving forward with our lives and, kind of pretend that this thing is not happening. But human trafficking is one of the most profitable businesses in the world. Guess why? Because you can keep reselling and reselling and reselling and reselling your product. What's your product? A child, a girl, possibly a boy. Um, it's way more lucrative and profitable than selling cocaine or fentanyl because you can only sell it once. And what we're starting to understand, I remember it was about 20 years ago when I met my ex-husband and we first, started our life and our family. And I saw a documentary slash drama documentary, and it had like these 4 vignettes, and it was showing, human trafficking. And it was like, oh, come be a model and we're going to show you around the world. And it would like take this girl into like, sexual slavery. Oh, wow, you're on a vacation in Thailand. And all of a sudden you get fucking swooped up by some dude on a moped. And then you're in sexual slavery. And so there's all of these different ways that, unfortunately, devastatingly, human trafficking has been happening for centuries, not just, recently. And I'm like, gosh, how can I help? And as a mom, my mama bear instinct wants to go out and just like bust, punch some people in the face and get them out of the ring. But like, it's just this, it's a disgusting cycle. And obviously we're waiting, like, where the fuck are the Epstein lists, And I was like, I don't even care about a list. I want to know, like, why are these people not in jail right now because of what they did to these young people? So, um, Friday night, it's Wednesday today, Friday night, 5, 6 nights ago, I was driving down to the town to go get some food. And I asked God, I was like, God, am I doing enough in my mission with all the blessings that you've given me? And certainly I've had lots of lessons and I've made mistakes and everything. But I'm like, am I in the right path? What should I be doing? And loud and clear, I got this like super voice that was like, help human trafficking victims. And I'm just like, really? Me? Like, I've had sexual abuse as a child, as a teenager, and as an adult. And I was like, am I the right person to do this? Because, what happens if I like fall apart and get too emotional and weird or whatever, And I'm like, I don't want to mess anything up that I've already like worked really hard to get strong at. And the voice of God, spirit, universe, whatever you like to call, the great creator, said, Valerie, you've been training for this your whole life. And I was like, what? Me? And of course I shrunk a little bit, but then I stepped forward into that truth. And I was like, gosh, of all the people who can understand what these girls have been through, certainly not to the level of what they've been through, but I can have empathy and I can have an open heart and I can have, giant open arms. And so I kept listening, and God was just like, pay attention. Like, you're supposed to help girls who've been trafficked. I'm like, okay. And I've been working on this 11X love code and this project and this book and workbook and video course and all this stuff, value for value. Within 12 hours, I had a call with my girlfriend, Claudia, down in El Salvador. And she was just like, hey, Val, guess what? I was just at an orphanage for girls who've been human trafficked and now they're pregnant. And we're trying to help raise some money so that they can, learn life skills and they can learn how to, be sovereign, and they're, one of the people who did a documentary named Ryan Mata is a Bitcoiner. And I was just like, okay, I'm listening, and so I'm just in this like process of, um, using my 2 ears and shutting my one mouth so I can learn a little bit more. But what I'm learning is just like any of us who've been, taken advantage of, abused, hurt, a lot of us wanna get out of our current situation and then help other people after we've gotten out. That's the wounded healer archetype. And so these girls, 14, 15, 16 years old, who are pregnant with their abusers' babies. And so, this guy, Bob McDonald, was just like, oh, I thought I'm going to help these girls get, in a safe place where they can give birth and put their babies up for adoption and whatever. And the girls are just like, I don't want my baby to go for adoption. I want my baby. And I want to be financially sovereign. So now we've got this new set of opportunities to support these girls and to support them keeping their babies and to support them um, so that they don't have to just go make pupusas on the side of the road as you leave the El Salvador airport. So what's really cool, so again, so now we're going to go 24 hours after that, talk with God. And I'm doing a Women's Day spaces, on Twitter, and all of these women, because I was just like, hey, ladies, and it wasn't like, 10,000 people, but it was like a good group of us ladies. Um, I was like, ladies, I got this message from God. This is what I think I'm supposed to be doing, and there's like a facility where all of us can come down and train the girls and be with them and show them like how to care for their baby, how to do self-care, how to, make a living. And, what's Bitcoin? How do you run a node? What's financial sovereignty? And so these women who were on this call with me on Saturday night, they were just like, I got you, Val. Like, I can come down to El Salvador. I'll teach these girls how to do sales training. I'll teach these girls how to do website. I'll teach these girls how to do hairstyling. I'll teach these girls how to do flowers and regenerative growth. I'll teach these girls how to do sewing. And I'm just like, all I did was just ask a question, and then everybody who's the Bitcoiner showed up and was like, I want to help. I want to help. And it just made me realize, like, gosh, we have such a great network of humans who want to support, And so Ryan Mata is a wonderful documentary filmmaker and uh, creative who's putting his life and time, treasure, and talent out there to shed the light on the truth of what the heck is happening with human trafficking. And then again, once the girls get rescued, heck yeah, get them out of that awful situation. Now what? Now what? What do we do? Do we just cool? They're going to go back on the streets and go do sex work? Are they going to make pupusas? Are they going to do something? Like, they've got babies to take care of. They've got dreams. They want to help other people. So it's like, how can we as Bitcoiners come together and say, fuck yeah, man, we've got all these human resources that want to come together and do something better for the world. And so to me, one of the most important things is getting people out of slavery. So whether you're in financial slavery, mental slavery, spiritual slavery, physical slavery, sexual slavery, I don't care. If you are operating in a place of slavery, you're fucked. And so we want to help people get out of slavery. And so I was so inspired by the women and on that call on Saturday night. And I was so like, wow, like that was literally only a question. I didn't even have a call to action and pulling people forward. So imagine what will happen when we have a more cohesive, targeted marketing a campaign to bring in all of the people with all the time, treasure, and talent to help these girls get out of slavery. And so, again, what I learned, and it's been, I guess, whatever, 4 nights, as far as that, 5 nights. Not only do you have to get them stop and get them out of the trafficking situation, what now? What do we do with these beautiful girls now? And so the rehabilitation part it's critical. And so that applies to any situation. So whether you've been human trafficked, whether your parents were beating the shit out of you, whatever it might be, what happens to these humans and their souls and their beautiful hearts? How can we help them create a life of sovereignty and empowerment and contribution? And so that's what I'm up to. And so the House of Life with Bob McDonnell and Ryan Mata, who's been doing the documentaries, we are going to be working on figuring out how can we support you guys, and then how can we create, because we love open source and we love everybody contributing things, because there's no one right way to do things, because like I live in Colorado and I have a certain set of cultures and values here. If you live in Lithuania, that's going to be another one. If you live in Indonesia, so it's kind of like there's you want to have an open source playbook for how you do things, but then you want to adapt to certain cultures. You want to adapt, like, oh, well, we're serving girls who are, 17 and 18 versus we're serving girls who are 13 and 14 versus, this and that. And so that's why the open source ethos is so important. And so we're going to be working on that. Yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys this. I'm on my way down to Denver, or not Denver, Boulder, to go to a normie women's meetup, Boulder women, and I'm of course going to orange pill them. And I just want you to know, whoever's listening, like, your voice matters, and Bitcoin for human trafficking is going to be something that we are gonna start implementing. So it's like, how can these girls escape the vicious cycle of violence? And how can Bitcoin be a tool for them? So, anyways, I just want to tell you guys that I love you all. Peace, love, and granola, and all of those good things. But think about, like, what would you want if you got out of a situation? What would feel empowering and nurturing? And then how can you parlay that to these other girls in the future? So that's it.